Hello in TV land, it's your boy Freelancer Joe, ready to once again get cracking. Whew, boy, doing that twice in one day, that is physically exhausting. I might have to alter my training regimen to account for that. I'll start off with one set of these, and then one set of these, and then whoosh, 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 whoosh. Another set of those. What? Freelancer Joe? What are you saying, twice in one day? Well, that's because this is the second of my 2 recorded episodes on this fine Sunday afternoon. Now it is definitely an afternoon. Although, if I stick to my schedule, you actually won't see this second episode until Monday afternoon. Well, actually evening. Probably evening. We'll see how that goes out. And then I'm sure another thing you're asking is, well, Freelancer Joe, you're looking awfully jacked right now. To which I say, well, thank you. And then you'll say, but Freelancer Joe, this is your off week from training, isn't it? And you would be correct. It is an off week from my training, but if you had paid attention to my Drinking with Joe episode yesterday, I said that I was not going to do any of the body weight exercises or really complex exercises. So, squats and deadlifts and bench press, that's out, as well as pull-ups and dips. But what I did do is I still did a little bit of my elliptical trainer just to keep the blood flowing, and some light curls. Light. Don't want to go heavy on those. Well, 1, don't want to go heavy period on an off week, but 2, that is difficult as it is for me to admit. It is one of my weak points. I don't have many weak points, but it is one of the weak points is at the biceps. Not what they should be when you consider the rest of my awesomely developed musculature. Awesomely developed. And then I did quite a few more sit-ups. It's of all the exercises that I normally do that have managed to trigger some form of minor warning sign that I need to back off. The sit-ups were not one of them that actually hasn't done it yet. And it was one of the highlights of the last training period where I didn't really experience a good weight loss number, but definitely tightened up the midsection. So I don't want to give that up just yet. It's real funny because normally that was the one thing that would cramp up a long time ago. So the 2 weak points, just 2, only have 2. The one is the biceps, and the other is the old abdominal region. But anyway, so let's try not to mess that up too much, but we'll see. But yes, I'm jacked, pumped, and even notice even smoother skin too, because I also did my shower and the shave. Managed to nick myself though, something fierce. Well, no, it's not a really fierce nick, but it didn't even feel like a nick. Well, no, it doesn't feel like a nick. You know when you hit. I'm assuming my audience is going to be mostly male and that they mostly shave. But yeah, you get that. You feel that when they tear something it shouldn't. Anyway, I said I was going to get cracking, so let's get cracking. Well, I still got the juices flowing. I was a little concerned about not necessarily having the energy for a second episode. And because, it's 2 episodes a day, in one day. That's me talking for a total of 1 hour. I mean, that's a long time for me to be talking. 30 minutes is a long time for me to be talking, to be honest. So, my kudos to radio show hosts who have hour-long programs, multiple hour-long programs. Although, they can talk with their staff, and then they take phone calls, and they do show preparations, so they have things to talk about. I gotta wing it. I don't have to wing it, but yeah, I wing it. Let me see. So this is started up. Yes. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah, worried about the energy. So yeah, there's the going for an hour instead of 30 minutes for one, and then it is Sunday, so I'm still a bit logy. And while it was kind of quiet, it was very quiet the first episode that I recorded. It appears that the neighbor doggies are getting restless. I do wonder. Well, not wonder. It is my growing suspicion that the new owners are not necessary. Did I open this twice? There's growing suspicion that the new neighbors are not properly suited for dog ownership. I say this as somebody who doesn't actually own a dog, but based on everything I've observed from dogs, is that they respond. Well, there are two types of dogs: the dogs that respond to training, and the dogs that don't and should be put down. Most dogs will respond to training. But yeah, the new neighbors don't seem to be the type to kind of enforce training. Well, with any luck, the dogs will settle down of their own accord eventually anyway, but we shall see. Anyway, so let's start up the old website again. So, how you doing? I'm going to ask this, even though I've already asked this today, but the video will be on another day. So, how y'all doing today? Doing good? Doing wonderful and fine? I didn't take the opportunity to talk about the weather. It is nicely cool, although overcast, cloudy, gloomy, perfect for fall. I mean, the two modes for fall weather is like it's cool and gloomy or cool and clear skies, and both are freaking awesome as far as I'm concerned. I haven't stepped outside of this apartment this entire weekend, and I don't plan to either. Nature. I have a healthy respect for nature, and that involves me staying as far away from it as I can. Alright, let's... I don't think I need to go to this site, but just in case. Not that I'm a Boy Scout. Cub Scout. I don't think I got to Weebelo, though. I think I was stopped at the one before that one. Social gatherings and activities. Not the Freelancer Joe way. Alright, so it would go through the warnings again. Let's see. This never really had the issue, which was fine. This was the one that I fixed. We fixed. Yeah, we're in this together. You and me. Me and you. You and I. And portfolio was fine. Clients was fine. Hire me was fine. Right. And so the error that the last warning I saw, or was working on, was when we go to the same route view. It's a small thing. I'm trying to envision how this could break in the future. Because it's one of the fun things about technical debt is when you explain it to the non-technical person, I mean, you can say it's a warning and it's something that should be taken care of, right? But then they can come back and say, yeah, but it works, so why should we bother fixing it? So you kind of have to play out potential ways it could cause problems in the future. Alright, so what could a future implementation change to the library? God, that's terrible. Terrible. If the package upgrade changed the behavior in the future to deal with this particular behavior, what could it do? Well, it could, instead of throwing a warning, throw an actual error and not perform the navigation. So explaining to a non-technical person, you can say, well, if we don't resolve this in the future, it is possible that after an upgrade, it will break the entire navigation thing. That's not a good word either. But yeah, that's what could possibly happen. And so when you explain it to a non-technical person that way, then they say, okay, we should take the time to fix it. Or you just keep track of it so that when you do a package upgrade, and if you do see that behavior, you can go look at your technical debt documentation and say, okay, yeah, that's not a surprise. We were expecting that to happen, and now we have to fix it. So I previously discussed 2 ways that we could fix it. Well, we don't fix it so much as we prevent the warning from happening. And we prevent the warning from happening by simply preventing this action. And the action actually was, what was occurring is that, so let's say we are on the About Me page. Well, when you click on the About Me button again, it's going to try and basically go back to the About Me page again. And that's what this guy is complaining about, this history.push. They're saying history cannot push the same path. Well, I was debating whether or not to explain the whole concept of pushing and popping on stacks. But whatever. Anyway, so that's the actual reason why we're getting that warning. They click on the button, it goes here, it's already there, but it attempts to push down again anyway. So we can prevent that by either 1, disabling the button and preventing them from doing a double click. But I explained before that I don't like the idea of disabling the button, because a disabled button should essentially be grayed out, right? It's like to clearly show that you can't click on it again. But we don't want it gray. We want it this white to give feedback to the user that this is where they are. And there's no reason that they, at least from a user perspective, that they shouldn't be able to click on it again. Whereas you disable like a submit button until all the fields in the form are correctly filled out, right? But from a user perspective, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to just click on that again. So disabling is out. So the actual fix is to basically say, well, when this function fires, we're going to check to see what the current path is. And then if this new path that we're trying to navigate to is different, then we'll go ahead and make the change. Otherwise, we'll just drop it. Well, drop it as in we just won't do anything because they're already there. There's no need to do it again. Right. Okay, so then, well, how do we figure out what our current path is? Well, it's this history thing right here. This history guy is going to keep track of, well, the history, duh. I mean, if you properly listen to history, it definitely will show you the way to go. Of course, most people have a problem with history. Unfortunately. Okay, what am I looking for? I'm looking for view container, right? Because that's where it's happening. So here is the history object. Alright, it has action, which is the last action that occurred, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about that. Location is what we're interested in. And it says location, path name. Alright, so rather than run the risk of breaking the code, we're going to, I mean, we could break the code. It's just my code and, you know, whatever, but hey. Alright, so if we wanted to see if we could actually do it, what we would first do, we're going to put a little marker there, marker debug message so that it's easier to find. And then we'll say, well, if this.props.history. Now, since I don't even bother checking here and it actually works, that's kind of redundant. Actually, you know what? That is redundant. So we pretty much assume that history is always going to be there, but we'll see if location is there. If this.props.location, and yeah, okay, that's it. We want to make sure that location is available. And then what we actually want is I print out location. And we're also going to see the actual value we want is path name. This is the much slower way to do it. And so why would you sometimes go with the slow way and the fast way of just breaking stuff? Well, if, say, for example, it took a long time to redeploy and build it, you would want to take the surefire approach because the more problems that you potentially introduce, the harder it is to track things down. Okay, so we're going to navigate to About Me. Alright, and see, there's our marker thing. And so with key About Me is what it's trying to transition to. And location path, location was there, and the path name was Splash. Okay, great. So now if we do this again, we should see About Me for the key and About Me for the location path name. So key About Me, location path name, About Me. Awesome. So now all we got to do is the actual check. So, you know what, let's go entirely defensive. Defensive, when I say defensive, I mean defensive programming. You kind of, you try to implement code that will handle most situations. I waffle back and forth on that one. You want to be pragmatic about it, in all honesty. But, you know, it's a nice lazy Sunday afternoon, and I've got the cycles, so let's do it. So first thing we'll do is if this dot props dot history. That's to check to make sure that there is actually history there. All right, if this dot props dot history. And just in case, we'll make sure that we have a key too. So that's fine. Otherwise, if we don't have history and don't have a key to navigate to, then there's no point. Alright, now what's the next thing do I check? I have history. Okay. If location. Right, okay. Alright. So if this dot props dot, that's just too much work. Alright, let history equal this dot props. There we go. That should be a little more concise. Don't need that. So if history and key, if history history.location, so if history has a location. And do I check for path name? Well, I mean, if location doesn't have a path name, it'll be null anyway. So, yeah. And if history.location and key does not equal history.location.pathname. Right, so if the key doesn't equal the current path, then we will go ahead and do this whole jibba jabba. I wonder if well, let's go ahead and fix the spacing because you all know Freelancer Joe likes things party. That's why I like looking at myself so much. And why I like looking at my honey bunny. Okay. You know, since they should be the same, I could just push the key myself. Probably want to check first, though. I assume this comment is basically... Oh, right. I know what that is. I know what that is. We'll get back to that if we get the time. And also, since we've pulled the history out from there, we don't even need to do this anymore. Let's go ahead and shorten that out. Not that I believe in optimal efficiency for code. No. Well, I'm not going about. I want to say this correctly. I appreciate having optimized code that's very tight and clean and concise. I appreciate it. I don't chase it. Okay, so alright, but we do not need this anymore. So let's see if that still works. Let's see if it works in general. Let's see if it fixes that warning error. Alright, let's verify that the navigation in general still works. About me, services, portfolio, clients, hire me, home. Okay, so that all still works. So now let's go to about me. Let's try the double navigation. And do we get the warning? Okay. So we still get the warning. With key about me. Interesting. That check should have taken care of it. View container. History. Oh. I know. History. Right. Dot location. Path name. Actually, wait. Do I have location in general? I have location. I should probably just use location. But I'm more curious as to... So it still did that. Oh, okay. Location, okay. Here, you know what it is? Alright, here's what it is. Here's what it be. This is cute. I know what it is. I know what it is. I could explain, or I could show. What do they say is the best way for filmmakers to do it? Better, yeah. Show, don't tell. Alright. Would I consider myself a filmmaker? No. Nope. An artiste, to be sure. I'm not a filmmaker. Okay, here we go. There it is. It's the slash. It's the slash. I forget if it's forward slash or backslash. I think it's forward, because it's going forward. Oh, I always get that mixed up. Alright, So what is the best way to do this? Split the string without... Blech. I think we'll do a substring. A substring. Did I say sting or string? Yeah. Substring. Try it yourself. Hello world, that's characters 1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait a minute. What if I don't know the start end? Start's required, end is optional. Okay, so we just need the start. But if we're going to do substring, then we have to make sure that that guy is actually defined. So we have to add an additional check. If history.location, Actually, you know what? Alright, I'm going to be real risky. History and location. If history and location and key. Alright. If location. Oop. And we have to make sure that location.pathname is defined. Right? And key does not equal location dot pathname dot substring from, well, the second character, because the first character is 0 and that first character is going to be the slash, to the end. Alright, let's see if that works. That's two things I changed. An awful chance I'm taking, Vader. I haven't watched Star Wars in a while. I should watch Star Wars in a while. So I should watch Star Wars. Alright. A little worried there that took so long to come up. Alright. About me. So transitions still work. That's fine. That means location's there. Yeah, and there. Why is it still... Oh, I didn't take that out. Okay. Let's clean that up. Alright. Let's double check it again. One more time. About me, no warnings. Close that. About me. No warnings. There we go. There we go. So now we are completely warning free. I think. Speaking of which, I should have disabled this button. Huh. Were there warnings on this? No. Okay. Okay. Good. Joe at joe.com. Derp. And you the man. Yeah, this is really risky. I'm doing this now. So close to the 30-minute mark. Really? Oh, okay, that's... I wonder if my lenders are still working. Well, I'll double check that later. But the objective was completed. No warnings. Nice. So before I forget, I forgot to do this when I finished my first episode. Git commit -m clean the warnings. Finally. Git push. Back it up. Nice. Alright, there. We're cleaned up with the warnings. I have to double check that. Why the message didn't submit correctly, but that shouldn't be too bad. Alright, well, we are at the 30-minute mark, just about. So, thank you for joining me. And I hope that you found this somewhat interesting and that you are able to celebrate this success with me of not having any warnings. It's a small thing, but we take victories where we can. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day and that you take care and God bless.